Today we're looking at another video camera from a long time ago. This is the Bell & Howell Autoload Filmosound 8 Model 436. It's quite a mouthful. But Bell & Howell, another company that I've never heard of at all, but they actually did a lot of important things. They're still technically around today, but they've been sold off a few times and other companies have bought them. Their website had something to do with flashlights currently. It doesn't look like they're really, mainstream and in production of a lot of things currently, but they're founded over 100 years ago in 1907 by Donald Joseph Bell and Albert Summers Howell, Bell & Howell. And they made products for the film industry. An interesting tidbit I found on Wikipedia about the company was that the model 2709 was so expensive only Charlie Chaplin and 3 other people owned one of them. All the others were owned by movie studios. I would love to learn more about the 2709. I guarantee you that is not one that we will ever have in the collection. And I'm pretty shocked that I've never heard of this company before, considering what I'm kind of going into now. They made big advancements to the cinema technology. In 1910, they introduced the 35mm perforator, which set the standard throughout the industry for sprocket holes running on the sides of 35mm film. Apparently there wasn't a standard before that point, which I can only imagine was a nightmare for projectionists. Like people working in movie theaters and they get a roll of film and the holes weren't standard to what they had to run the film in the projector. So I have no idea what they did there. I'm not trying to lead you on like I know the answer there. I genuinely don't know. Would they just make custom holes that would fit whatever they had? It sounds like an absolute nightmare. There's a ton of history to this company. We're not going to get too far into it there. I fell down a rabbit hole learning about it, trying to research this camera specifically. But I will tell you, they partnered with Canon for 15 years. Bell & Howell 35mm cameras, still photo cameras that were manufactured by Canon and just have their B&H branding. Not the B&H that I'm familiar with that I purchase cameras from currently, but Bell & Howell. And another less fun fact, the Zapruder film was shot on a Bell & Howell, which made me go, what's that? How come the Zapruder film has its own name? It's the assassination of JFK. So it was shot on a Bell & Howell camera. Not this one, but another one. Anyway, but enough about company history. The Filmosound 8. What I could find out about it wasn't a whole lot. It was made in 1969. As far as price, I have no idea. Couldn't find any information about that. I found an ad from Kodak in 1969 with a very similar type of camera called their Instamatic M9 that was listed as just less than $200. Repeatedly, they mentioned in one advertisement that it was less than $200. So maybe that would be around the same price as this. Maybe they were being competitive. I have no idea. I could not find that information, but I can tell you that $200 in 1969 would be $1,771.35 today. As far as features, you could set your focus distance by using this little lever right here. But it also had autofocus with their Focus-Matic, is what they called it back here, which I can't tell if it works or not. Mine is in pretty rough shape. Looking through the viewfinder, something is cracked in there. It's split in half, but the glass itself looks fine, so maybe it's just on the viewfinder end. I don't know. I didn't want to try taking it apart too much. I also have no idea what this does. Again, I unfortunately could not find a manual for this camera specifically. I could find plenty of promotional images that showed it came with a T-handle. Now, there's a tripod hole in the top and the tripod hole in the bottom, so maybe you could put it in either of those places, but everywhere I saw, the T-handle shape would come out and you'd grip the handle with your fist and then hold it up like this and look through, which is pretty different from all the other things that I would expect. All the other cameras I saw, especially Bell & Howell, used more like a pistol grip kind of situation, or I've seen top handles for plenty of things. I haven't seen a bottom handle on a camera before, so that's interesting. Now, I mentioned automatic focus. It also had auto exposure, TTL, through the lens, technology that we are definitely familiar with from all the still photos cameras, so that's pretty cool. And it would film at an interesting 18 frames per second. I don't know when the standard was set. Obviously, Bell & Howell did a lot to push the cinema equipment and make it both for cinemas and movie studios, but then home use as well. I don't know why 18 frames per second. I know that 24 is standard for movies, for film, and 25 over in the UK. Maybe home videos just, did less because of the technology. I have no idea about that. I didn't look that part up. But I did find out why it's called the Filmosound. Because it does sound. You can see there's a hole right there. There's a place to plug in an external microphone, and it's labeled sound. There's also one above it for the remote, so that you could remotely trigger it. I found that it uses the Silent Super 8 cartridge. Now, this is confusing. It's clearly meant to have sound as well, and I found that this released in 1969, like I said, and in December of 1969, Bell & Howell introduces the Filmosound 8 double system that used separate audio cassettes in the cartridge to record both sound and your motion picture at the same time and then sync them together. I have no idea what happened after that. I really wish I could have found more about this camera. I don't know if you take that cartridge and you take your 2 rolls out, you develop the film and put it in a projector, and then the projector also has an audio system. Bell & Howell made a ton of projectors. That's what I found the most of, but they also made the camera. So they made both sides of it so that you could record the footage and then view the footage. And apparently the 436, this model, was also a model of projector. So maybe you would want to buy both at the same time. Speculation, no idea. I wasn't alive in 1969 and I have no idea how it functioned, but it's really cool. I'm really happy that we have this. It looks neat. I kind of would like to find a handle for it at some point, maybe, if I can find something, or it's just a standard screw. I could just put my own on there if I could find one that looked vintage enough to really look, like an old camera. But it's neat. That's everything I found. I really couldn't find all that much about this one in particular, but that's it for this round of cameras. It's been a fun time researching and getting to learn about all 4 of them, and this one especially with Bell & Howell and the whole rabbit hole that I fell down learning about that company. I really appreciate my dad for sending these to me and being able to look through and research them. It's really cool, and I really like that we've gotten to the point where I'm looking at video camera specifically, because I made a turn myself from doing photography into video and videography with the wildlife side of things that I do for the majority of this channel. But it's really cool when I get a camera and I get to research it and learn about it, and I really like that. It goes without saying, but doing all this is something that I like.